long time too.
Yeah, you've seen him.
Justin's been playing since he was 7 years old. It's amazing how your mind develops and you really become second nature with the plays.
So, yeah, so Will has 8 island walking creatures. 8 creatures that give all of his other creatures island walk. Master of the Pearl Trident and Lord of Atlantis.
Looks like
and Will gets his ideal start in an Aether Vial.
a turn 1 Aether Vial. So Justin is hoping to get an Abrupt Decay. And let's see what he does.
So
suspending evasions.
Yes.
So trying to get it to the later game and generating some card advantage.
And the thing about Justin's deck, the bug deck, no basic lands.
Right, no basic lands.
That he's going to have to suck it up against a
back to basics or something like that. Is that
Wasteland in Will's deck specifically? So most Merfolk decks err on the greedy side and play 4 Wastelands, 4 Mutavolts, and only 12 islands.
Right.
Will's decided to be safe. He wants to cast his double blue cards. He is playing 14 islands. So only 3 Wastelands, 3 Mutavolts.
And I think once Will gets more Lords on board, Justin doesn't have a board wipe, and I think it's going to get very difficult for him. He's going to be swinging at Will.
Yes. Will's going to be swinging at Justin.
Right, right.
So, Thoughtseize from Justin. Will wants to respond with a activation of Aether Vial. Curse Catcher pops into play.
Right.
And you see a Spell Pierce and a Force of Will.
So that's great because the Force is no good without the Spell Pierce. He can't take the land. And I guess Will knew he would have taken the Curse Catcher had he left it in place. So, and he gets another Lord. This is not going to go well.
The top of the deck. Master of the Pearl Trident enters play for Will, and I think in his haste, Will forgets to play his Mutavault.
Right, he misses a land drop, but I think Justin definitely has an uphill battle here.
Oh yeah, Justin definitely behind the 8 ball definitely needs probably multiple Abrupt Decays.
Yeah, multiple Abrupt Decays, and he can't block. I mean, there's nothing he can do.
The
Maelstrom Pulse is not going to be any good here.
Yeah, the removal spells in Justin's deck are 1 Maelstrom Pulse and
the Abrupt Decays.
4 Abrupt Decays. That's it. Everything else is a blocker or a creature or some sort of card advantage.
Or to get things out of the hand. It's too late for that.
Yes.
I actually can't imagine how he's going to pull this one off.
Yeah, there's 1 Abrupt Decay. Yeah. 1 Abrupt. I think if Justin plays Abrupt Decay this turn, Abrupt Decay next turn,
it's pretty much over. And had Will remembered to put his Mutavault in, he could be doing a lot more right now.
Yeah. So Abrupt Decay will take out the Master of the Pearl Trident, but still 4 damage coming across. Justin falls to 7, but even worse, Will draws another Lord.
Right.
Makes it yeah.
Is it possible that Will is holding back his Mutavault because he sees the Wasteland?
It's entirely, yeah, that's the realistic thing, because I don't think it's terribly necessary. But,
a Karma Boy,
Justin can do?
Can't block.
Justin could theoretically Wasteland his own island.
Okay. Yes.
It'd be an Underground Sea. And he will. Unfortunately, he's still going to take lethal. He's only at 5 life. Right. But that is a clever play that I didn't see at first. Why isn't Justin conceding? But
and he does exactly that.
But I believe he's still taking lethal. Yep.
Okay, let's look at the boards.
Yep. So, what is Justin going to bring in? He's down a game.
He's going to bring in the 2 Baleful Strix.
Okay.
To try to block. I'm trying to think if the Golgari charms are any good. Giving 1 -1/-1 is not that spectacular.
Right. Most of the Lords have 2, and then once one's in play, that could be
possibly the Maelstrom Pulse.
Yes, I think the Maelstrom Pulse is very good. Basically, if Will is able to keep either a Lord of Atlantis or a Master of the Pearl Trident in play,
right?
I think that basically Justin can't win as long as
that's exactly right.
One of them, but so I think anything.
Let's talk about what he might take out. I know one of Justin's principles in playing these decks is he likes to board out his Force of Wills if you're playing against decks which don't have like one big spell which can kill you. The inherent card advantage to Force of Wills. So I think there is a reasonable chance against a deck like Merfolk where it's not one spell you want to counter. You have to deal with multiple spells. He's probably going to board out the Force of Wills and put those 3 cards in. That would be my guess.
On the flip side, Aether Vial is so important, and that it's such a mana advantage.
Sure.
For like Aether Vial is very important. Like, may not be as important for a deck like Will's that can
versus goblins or something.
Yeah, because he's only saving like 2 and 3 mana with his cards. But that could still be a big deal when you know, Justin has the time to set up. Maybe he can set up some Jace, brainstorm a couple times. Like every turn that Justin gets is another takedown on an Ancestral Vision. Just killing an Aether Vial, or if Will just doesn't draw one, buys him a ton of time. I like Thoughtseize.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, out of Justin's
Try to get the Thoughtseize.
So there's 2 Thoughtseize in the main, 2 Thoughtseize on the board. Like you said, you can bring up to 8 of them. Right. I like Thoughtseize quite a bit.
The thing about the Force of Will, I mean, I would go back and forth on that one. If they resolve a Vial, now you have a dead card in the hand.
Yes.
And he only plays 3, so having to rely on one Force of Will when your opponent has to play a turn 1 Vial or something is pretty rough.
Yes, Force of Will can be a game saver or a game end, a dead card. And so it fluctuates wildly in value.
We'll see. I'm going to guess that he is going to opt out against the Force of Wills. That would be my guess. But I could be wrong. We might see one.
You have more inside information than I do.
But we talk about that all the time. You know, just last week we were watching Jerry Thompson on camera, who plays the same deck.
Yes.
And he keeps his Force of Wills against. It was a matchup. I forget what it was, but it was at an event I was watching on camera. And I texted Justin. I said, I thought you told me to take the Forces out against this matchup, and he was keeping them in.
Yeah, different players play different ways, and they're not necessarily. I could see arguments for either side, and I wouldn't say this is right, this is wrong,
right,
type of thing. So there are arguments for Force of Will in and out in this particular matchup. Like in the mirror, it's absolutely right to take them out.
Right.
Yes.
Or when he plays Rug Delver, he takes them out. That was the matchup, in fact. I think Jerry was playing Rug Delver against Rug Delver, and I saw in his hand, and he kept them in. So there must be some argument for and against.
Rug Delver was one of the close ones as well, because both Rug Delver and Merfolk are the type of decks that want to tax your mana.
Right.
So you want something free.
Sure.
No, but they're like, if you have a fetch land and they stifle it, you need something. You want something.
Well, that is the inherent strategy with a Rug Delver deck. Is
to
get something out early and then deny your opponent the opportunity to do everything.
Right. And Force of Will kind of lets you fight that.
Can fight through that.
Yeah.
Which is exactly what makes Rug Delver
at a disadvantage.
Not fun, because if you don't get that early threat out, or you can't protect it, then you get to a late game like with a deck like this, you're just like,
I played Rug Delver once in an open, twice, but one of the times, in the finals, I made the finals and played a Rug Delver mirror.
Right.
And both games I lost, I ended without mana sources.
Exactly. I see them piling again.
Justin took a mulligan.
Took a mulligan, yeah.
Would like this person to be you. Please come up and see me at the stage.
And I believe since Will's hand is still in front of him, he is going to keep 7.
So on the play, he doesn't get to draw the first card. Down to 6. This better be a pretty darn good 6, or this is going to come to a close.
Well, one of the decks that is very good at overcoming mulligans is this Shardless bug deck. Just capable of so much card advantage.
Right, with the cascade effects. I mean, the trouble with the visions is it takes 4 turns for that to happen.
It's slow.
A lot can happen in 4 turns.
Yeah, as you saw last game, Justin really never got the chance to.
Right.
He suspended visions on turn 1 and didn't unsuspend it.
Right. Nothing good can come out of that. I mean, he would need to turn 1 Deathrite Shaman, possibly turn 2 into a Shardless Agent, cascading into a Visions. That would be fantastic. That would be ideal. Short of that, going to 6 cards is going to be terrible.
Yeah. So thoughts.
That's not bad.
Good start.
Yeah.
He's not looking to trade cards. And this is a card that lets him
Let's see what there is. A Vial, which is a good target. A Lord, a Sower, and lands. Well,
what would you take here if you were playing?
I mean, that's a tough one. A Vial without creatures isn't that good. I might consider taking the Lord. I might consider that. And he does exactly that.
Just agree with you. I agree with you.
Okay.
I think I think Lord is a definite one that you can't really win the game.
If you got a vial and you can't put anything in with your vial.
Right. It'll be interesting to see. Will has an option between playing his vial and playing a wasteland.
That is true.
So, but he's gonna play
opt for the vial.
Opt for the vial. Use wasteland as a tempo play because when he uses the wasteland and his vial can take up, that's one more.
Right. That's where you can still get all your business in, and your opponent can't.
And you're denying.
So, we didn't see what Will drew. However, he does have that sower in hand.
He drew a Phantasmal Image.
He did. Okay. And Justin does not. Well, that's going to be good here. Justin does not have too many answers main or even post board to a sower. The Abrupt Decay, which is his main removal, is not going to do
right.
it.
Maelstrom Pulse being
one of the main ones, or bouncing it with Jace.
So Phantasmal Image comes down, copies the Tarmogoyf. Abrupt Decay.
Oh wow, this
Justin.
is a difficult play because you can get rid of the Abrupt Decay, or get rid of the Tarmogoyf, the copy, or get rid of something more important. But he chooses to get rid of him. I guess he wants to get him on the tempo plan and just beat him down before anything else has to happen.
One thing Justin is doing that I like a lot is he has not fetched an island.
That is absolutely true. So there is no Island Walk.
There's no island in play. There's no Island Walker yet.
Right.
But Justin
there's
knows.
no island in play.
I think an island's
this is going to be good. He's got
that's a good
discard
draw.
spell, and he has a Maelstrom Pulse in hand.
Yeah, he also has a Jace in hand. So to play the Jace, he'll probably have to play a source of an island.
Right.
But for now, he doesn't have to. Yeah, so Justin's two cards both very
powerful. I mean, we have to anticipate that Will is hoping to vial in the sower, steal the Tarmogoyf, and then Justin is going to have an answer for that.
Right. I don't think Will has a play. Like, so the Phantasmal Image has already been played. Okay. I believe if we're counting the Tarmogoyf correctly, it should be a 4/5.
4/5.
Land, instant, sorcery, creature.
Right.
Yes, because the Hymn to Turok was just the Thoughtseize as well as a. So you see the creature and the instant from Will, and then you see a Verdant Catacombs and a.
So this is going to get worse now. He not only does not have another land, so the sower is going to become a. There he goes. He got it. That's excellent. And he's attacking.
Thing is, so Justin knows the Maelstrom.
He knows the line. He knows the line of play here, right?
Yes. So he's not going to burn his. He's not going to burn his Maelstrom Pulse, and then just lose to a sower.
Right.
He wants to save the Maelstrom Pulse for the card that he otherwise really can't beat.
So Will drew the fourth island. He's He's not going to play it. He's going to wait for the vial and probably vial it in during Justin's attack step, which Justin is fine with. He will just get that back with his Maelstrom Pulse.
So Justin drew another pretty good card, another Tarmogoyf. So makes it difficult for Will to attack.
Yeah, he can't attack.
He needs because it doesn't give Island Walk to himself.
Right, just to the other merfolk.
Right, so Will flooding out a little bit. Looks like
I think I just saw a Deathrite Shaman too, which will allow him to cast his Jace next turn, and this should be the game. I can't think of any outs Will is going to have right now.
Yeah, another Sword of Temptation doesn't quite do it because of the -1 ability on Jace.
That's exactly right.
It will prevent the Tarmogoyf from attacking a turn, but other than that, Justin locks it up.
Pulled it off on a mulligan to 6.
Yeah, that's. I mean, he got some good card advantage, and basically he Will drew a lot of extra lands. So basically, he had a couple extra cards, but they're all lands, so it didn't really get extra cards.
That's exactly right.
And Justin had the best card that stayed in play, the Tarmogoyf.
And so, to go over our sideboard plans again, I think I'm going to still stick by, he probably took out the Force of Wills.
Yeah.
I didn't see those. And he brought in the Maelstrom Pulse, as we were saying. And
Maelstrom Pulse is quite excellent when you need every piece of removal you can get
rid. And if they play things in multiples, which they sometimes do, 2 of the same lord or something, that could be excellent.
Well, Phantasmal Image.
There you go.
Ensures, unless, like you saw Will copy the Justin's Tarmogoyf, but if usually Will's copying one of his own lords. Maelstrom Pulse really punishes that line of play because you just target the original and you get the Phantasmal image with it.
Right, you'd get both of them.
Yeah, so
but
if
of course,
if
you do it in
Atlantis,
reverse, you don't get it that way, right? The spell is countered because
you don't want to. You'd have to still target the original,
right,
and not the Phantasmal image.
If you target the copy, then the spell will not resolve. You know, one interesting thing to point out: while Justin did win the second one, you have to play really tight with this deck in this matchup. You know, everything has to go pretty well for you. It is not easy.
I would agree with that. I think Justin is taking a really good strategy on trying really hard not to play islands.
Right. And I'm going to give you an example. I mean, that sounds like a simple thing to say. You got to play tight. Who doesn't play tight? But against a deck like Rug Delver, if they don't resolve an early Delver and you can drag things on to the late game,
you can just generically execute your strategy.
Right.
Well, yeah, in this matchup, generically executing
is not going to get there.
Right. So he needs to, find little extra edges. I really like Justin's play of not playing the islands. That was really good.
Right. And he will not hesitate to waste his own lands. Another matchup that becomes important in is against the red burn matchups because it's very difficult for Justin's deck to beat Price of Progress. So if he ever gets that matchup, you'll see him play with minimal lands and keep the wastelands always ready to try to avoid that.
Yeah. So from Will's side, he basically wants to keep. I like any hand with one land and an Aether Vial.
Oh, absolutely.
You saw in game 2 he had 4 lands in an Aether Vial, which is really way too much mana for his deck.
Just for the sake of discussion, presenting the counter argument though, from Will's point of view, he does not know Justin sides out his Force of Wills. So if you see a land with one land, and he doesn't even know that Justin is only playing 3, he might assume that he is. If you see a land with one land and Aether Vial, you're pretty much all in on that. You've got to be worried about Abrupt Decays, you've got to be worried about Force of Wills. So, I don't know, if I was in Will's shoes, I might be afraid to do that. I might.
Yeah, the thing is, you can draw, you can draw into another land if that doesn't work. Like 2 lands Aether Vial and no more for the rest of the game. 2 islands, Aether Vial.
What do you think?
And the rest of the colorless lands.
Will's sideboarding plan.
He had, like you saw the Soul of Temptations. The other card is Will could have is Submerge.
Submerge, absolutely. Which I think most people know this, but for the viewers at home, the optimal time to submerge a creature is on a fetch, right?
Yes, in response to a fetch line. We did see our previous match ended, so it was a junk player, a white, black, green deck. He only had white and black mana, no green, no forests.
Right.
So his opponent had to hardcast his Submerge, make it a totally lost.
Right.
To get through his Tarmogoyf for lethal. But so that was fun. He paid for the alternate casting cost of 5 mana,
which you hardly ever see.
Yeah.
Well, now are we seeing a mulligan from the other side?
I believe.
I thought I saw him draw 6.
We'll see him. So Island and Curse Catcher from Will,
which is not the most amazing start. It's not a vial.
So he's going to protect his hand. So Master, I see all Lord of Atlantis.
Let's see. We see a Jace in Justin's hand, a land, a Maelstrom Pulse, and the Deathrite Shaman obviously being good too. If you have to pay for Curse Catcher, that comes up too.
So.
Now, to Justin's dismay, Will did not play 2 of the same Lord.
Right. But they're effectively the same.
Right.
But Justin's
holding a Maelstrom Pulse. It would have been a lot better.
He really wants them to be actual Lord of Atlantis. The joys of reprints. Is that?
I think I just saw a Liliana in his hand too. My
so
guess on the play
all hands on
would
deck.
be to.
Just going with Maelstrom Pulse on the Master of the Pearl Trident.
Wow. Maybe I would have been wrong, but I would have thought playing the Liliana, making him sack a creature, and next turn he has to attack into your Liliana, save some damage.
I don't see the Liliana. That's the other thing. I see a Jace, Tarmogoyf, and 3 Tarmogoyfs, I believe.
You're right. I'm tilting my head and I'm not seeing it. Okay, there you go. And why would he bring that Liliana in anyway?
Well, Liliana would have been decent there, simply because. So, Mirror Regery for Will comes in. But
Wasteland is not going to be very good.
It's not terrible. It lets him block, potentially. Like, I expect Justin to get a Bayou.
Sure.
He gets a Tropical.
Well, he has one of each. Those are the three different non-basics he plays.
Well, I wanted Justin to get a Bayou, then Wasteland his own Underground Sea, so that he only has one. He doesn't have an island in play, and he can block the
with the Tarmogoyf.
Yeah, block with the Tarmogoyfs. But that's not the line Justin took, and he's at a dangerous life total. Although the Lord of Atlantis itself does not have Island Walk
Right,
yet.
so he can only attack with one of them.
The Mirror Reader will come in for 3, unblocked. Yep.
So that also tells us something about Will's hand, that he's not holding another Lord right now.
Yes.
Or he would have for sure played it.
Yeah, he's probably not holding a Soul of Temptation. So this is actually potentially a very good thing
Jace,
for...
and he's going to probably... Let's see.
I would imagine that the Mirror Reader gets bounced.
So,
like, this is such a... It's not a card advantage game anymore. It's a tempo game.
And this is the other thing. When you're stabilizing, it's still important to take the beats when you can. He is getting in for the damage on the Tarmogoyf.
Right.
So...
Yeah, Justin cannot like, kill everything before it wins.
Right. And so he's assuming Will's next play is to recast the Regery unless there's another Lord coming up. You wonder, what could Will have?
I believe Will has a Submerge, and he's waiting for an optimal time. Because you said the optimal time is you generally in response to a fetch. If it's a creature you want dead forever,
right?
Basically. What is that? Yeah, that's 2 Submerges. If you're Justin, do you block with this Deathrite Shaman?
Well,
especially if it's coming at Jace.
Yeah, if it's coming at Jace, I think you'd have to. If it's coming at him, I think he's going to take it.
Sure, that makes a lot of sense. I think Will has another Submerge, so Justin could be in quite a bit of trouble. But he does have an active Jace now, and
he can play 2 spells. He can play his Baleful Strix and his Tarmogoyf.
Spell Snare, the response.
Well, there you go. It helps to have more Tarmogoyfs.
Yep. Justin thinking about whether or not he wants to attack. He does.
Not knowing that the other Submerge is there, which is going to be used against.
It's going to be increased to 4/5. Tarmogoyf is. I believe that was our first instant. The Submerge and the Spell Snare.
Right.
So pretty dead Aether Vial drawn. But
still, it's amazing with those 2 cards. Does he still have the Submerge? Did we see that?
I believe he does. Yeah, it's right there.
Okay. So a Submerge and attacking to Jace is looking pretty good right now. And that essentially time walks Justin again.
Yeah, well, on 13, that's 3 hits, or 4 hits from a Tarmogoyf, not quite 3.
Right. Well, he can... If this one gets submerged, he'll hit with the... Yeah, he has to keep 1 up to block the Lord of Atlantis. And Jace is dead. So Justin is going to recast his Tarmogoyf, cast his Baleful Strix, and better hope for something good.
Yeah, he's gonna get his racing shoes on. Baleful Strix being... actually, Justin has lethal power in play. He has to get it through.
And what do I see?
Wow.
A land?
Soul of Temptation, I believe.
Ouch.
Nope. I am a Relic of Progenitus,
which is
also really, really strong.
Which gets rid of all the graveyards, and Tarmogoyf will become a 0/1.
Yep. Fantastic card. The Relic also gets exiled. So Tarmogoyf is a 0/1. I'm not sure that if I'm Will, I'm not sure I would have done that there. Although maybe he's trying to draw.
He is afraid of attacking into that Baleful Strix and losing his Lord, so Justin will take the 3.
Yes, that has Island Walk.
Let's see if he has a spell he can cast.
He has a
Shardless Agent. Let's see what he cascades. And a Visions. That's pretty decent. 1, 2.
Okay, so Brainstorm.
Brainstorm is that.
Deathrite Shaman and Golgari Charm.
Yeah, he cited that in. That's interesting to me. I don't see how giving creatures 1/1 is that great.
Yeah, me neither. Very curious to see what Justin's mindset. There are a couple 1 toughness creatures. There are Curse Catchers and Silvergill Adepts. So Justin going to do a Brainstorm before combat damage to pump
the Tarmogoyf.
Yeah. So Will's at 4. Oh, he should have done it before.
Yeah, and put the land in the graveyard.
Put the land,
sure.
make him 3. But it still is a very good land because it enables Deathrite Shaman. But we'll see what. Ooh, I think Will just got this one.
What did he get?
He drew a Mirror Regery. Oh no, that doesn't. It doesn't grant.
It doesn't pump any. It doesn't give island
walk to the Lord of Atlantis. So I actually think. Yeah, I think.
I mean, you got to think from Will's perspective. He doesn't know what Justin has. He has got to be afraid of all the cards that Justin was just seeing.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Ancestral Visions, Brainstorm. That's a ton of new cards.
I'll tell you, in my last match where I lost to Show and Tell, he had a Leyline of Sanctity. All I had was a him and a Thoughtseize in hand. But my opponent took 6 more turns to go off because he doesn't know that.
Yeah.
I'm holding 4 or 5 cards in hand. He's thinking he wants to get ready to play around double.
So Silvergill Adept.
And that's the match.
Wow, so Silvergill Adept from Will.
Draws into the Lord.
Draws into a Lord of Atlantis, which grants the other Lord of Atlantis already in play Island Walk necessary to get lethal with
lethal damage. That's pretty incredible.
That was a very close match.
But like we were saying, the Merfolk deck, you want to play against islands, you want to Island Walk.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you just get overwhelmed.
Yeah, Merfolk really